Recently, my team and I encountered a real-life tech blunder, and to be honest, it filled us with fear while it lasted. We accidentally deleted everything. Well, not everything, but it sure felt like it at the time. Luckily, it was just our staging database, but it gave us some serious heart palpitation. And to make sure you can learn from our experience, I will walk you through how we fixed it and some strategies you can use to prevent similar issues in your team. So what happened exactly? It was a typical day at work, and suddenly one of our devs ran a PHP unit test locally, and the whole staging database was wiped clean. The room went silent, and the dreaded "who logged into the database and deleted the whole record" message was sent. And no, it wasn't some newbie mistake or an intern. These things can happen to anyone. Even companies like Recent faced a similar situation, wiping out production database during a database migration, which took them 12 good hours to fix. In our case, thankfully, it was the staging environment, but the horror still felt very real. We were running unit tests, and that was where things went sideways. One of our team members was using the staging credentials on their local environment with Laravel refresh database traits. You can probably see where this is going. By refreshing the database, we lost all the record in our staging environment. Fortunately, we had a backup. Yes, our saving grace wasn't that the production database was it. It was the fact we had a backup strategy in place. It didn't take long for us to restore the database to the previous state, and within a few hours, everything was back up and running. I can't stress enough how much having a backup can save your life and your team in a moment like this. The real hero here was my colleague, who immediately owned up to the mistake. He sent a message to the team apologizing for the issue and took full responsibility. Mistakes happen, and the best way forward is to learn from them and not to point fingers. That is a lesson every tech team needs to embrace. Now let's get into the technical stuff. What went wrong? And more importantly, how can you avoid this happening in your environment? Luckily for us, Laravel 11 introduced a feature to prevent this kind of disaster using the prohibitable traits. You can ensure destructive commands like migrate refresh, migrate fresh, or dbwipe cannot run in production environments. Here is a quick snippet. Laravel has even built this into the frameworks for commands like dbwipe and migrate refresh. So if you're on Laravel 11, be sure to add this to your production settings. Better safe than sorry. Another strategy we learned was having a backup system, having regular automated backup. Even though we had to restore data, it was a very quick process for us. Without this, our team could have been stuck for much longer. Moving forward, we are also tightening access to the staging and production environment. Only specific roles will have write privilege, and we've added straighter permission checks to prevent such command from being executed in the wrong environment. We have also set up automated monitoring and alert system for our database. So if tables are dropped or critical changes are made, the team will be notified immediately via Slack, email, and SMS. This incident was a major learning experience for us. It highlighted the importance of writing tests. And yes, we've started implementing unit testing, which I'll talk about in another video. To wrap this up, these are my main takeaways. Always have a backup strategy in place and make sure they are easy to restore. Use Laravel 11 new prohibitable trait to prevent destructive command from running in the wrong environment. That is if you are using Laravel. Restrict permissions to your database so that only specific roles can make significant changes. And own up to your mistakes. Learn from them. Mistakes happen to everyone, but learn from them. And that is this for today's video. In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have ever had a similar tech blunder in your team. Let's learn from each other so we can all improve. Catch you on the next one. Ireu.